Every Friday from 3:05 to 4 on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. It's the Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. Talking local sports every Friday. Getting you ready for the weekend and what lies ahead. High school sports, UConn, ECSU, and more. The Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto is brought to you by your local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Windham, 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 1575 West Main Street, and 407 Jackson Street. The Friday Sports Scene. Now, here's Keith C. Rice and Jan Koivisto.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for a celebration. Amazing. Butler, a rookie free agent out of West Alabama.
Oh, my. 11 Super Bowls ago. Do you believe it? Are we on? All right, just making sure. 11 Super Bowls ago. Nick Erlinson. We got the Pats and the Seahawks again. Welcome into the Dunkin' Friday Sports Team. Keith C. Rice, Nick Erlinson for Jan Koivisto. And, yep, Pats, Seahawks. Here we are 11 years later. No Tom Brady, no Russell Wilson, no Gronk, no Marshawn Lynch. A new cast of characters. No Malcolm Butler, obviously. And you wore your I wore my Pat stuff last week. You wore your Seahawks gear, and look at that.
Yep. Got another Seahawks one for next week.
Wait, is this are you going to be wearing the Seahawks visiting jerseys?
I will be wearing their blue.
You got the home and away?
I don't have the white one, but I have the dark blue.
Oh, the dark blue. That's right. Okay,
blue,
that's right. Because a lot of teams have like 3 different uniforms.
And the lime green color rush, and then the old school throwback blue, and then the Sean Alexander navy blue as well.
Now you're wearing the you're decked out in the Berg. He's got the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I told Nick that he's got to come in with a different city each week. You represented Seattle, so you're going to represent Seattle again next week. Now the reason why you have all the Seattle stuff, your son is a Seahawks fan, correct?
Yes, and I'm wearing Pittsburgh today because my daughter's a Penguins fan, and they won 5 straight. Yes,
they've won 5. Well, look at you up on your hockey. Okay, so. How's your daughter? Well, first of all, how's your son a Seahawks fan, and how's your daughter a Penguins fan?
My son loved Russell Wilson when he was first getting into football, and my ex-wife kind of adopted that team, and my son went with it as well.
Okay. Does your son have a good explanation of what happened to Russell Wilson? How he was like this, Hall of Fame lock, and now he's just like falling off the face of the earth. Like, what happened to Russell Wilson? Do you have any?
I think he got tired of running away from because of his terrible offensive lines, and
ever since Butler picked him off, he was never the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and how's your daughter a Penguins fan?
She liked the animal Penguins.
Really?
So she likes the hockey team Penguins as well.
Does she follow the Penguins? Well, they've won 5 straight. Was that her?
She watches it.
Really?
She likes.
Do you have the NHL Network or something, or what?
ESPN or wherever it's on. She'll find those games and she'll watch them.
And a Pirates hat because you collect baseball hats, right?
Yep, and it matched.
All right, so here we go. Lots to get to. Next week, Nick and I were just talking about that. I think we're going to do an all Super Bowl show since the Patriots, we do local, very local, high school, ECSU, UConn. But in honor of the Patriots in the Super Bowl, I think we're going to work on a Super Bowl extravaganza for the Dunkin' Friday Sports Team next week. But here we are, a week before the Super Bowl. Let's do the local sports rundown before we get to our first guest. Here for this January 30th. Cold enough for you guys, by the way? You think we'll ever see the 20-degree mark again? This is ridiculous. I mean, look, I usually don't complain about the weather, but the reason why the snow is not melting is because we can't get out of the teens. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I had my shorts on for work this morning, but I changed out of them before the show.
You'll probably be in the hospital in the next couple of days with pneumonia, right?
Yeah, I wear shorts every day.
It's you like Ray Aramini. I don't think I've ever seen Ray Aramini wear pants. Right, Matt?
Me either. Never.
He was out with Wayne this morning, by the way. So, anyway, how come you wear shorts now?
Well, it's warm at my job, so I wear shorts 300 days a year.
Oh, I see.
And then regular days, I have a brain when I'm outside of work.
And by the way, I said this on social media, no storm on Sunday. How many people do you run into? Oh, it's going to be a storm on Sunday. Oh, my. No. Stop putting up this is one of my big Facebook pet peeves. Stop putting up ridiculous weather models. You are not a meteorologist. I knew all week by looking, no offense to Russ Murley here on WILI, look at your iPhone weather app. It's accurate. There's no storm. You want to know the weather Sunday? That supposed storm, partly sunny, mid-20s. No storm. Sorry, I'm pointing at you, Nick, like I'm just trying to make it drives me nuts. Okay, let's get to the rundown. Were you going to say something about the storm?
No, I was going to say I don't have that app on my Android.
All right, well, I'm sure the Android has a weather app. I know. If you have, does Android have a weather app?
Yeah.
I'm sure it says no storm, right?
Yeah, it didn't say much on there for that.
All right. Anyway, because maybe the people on Facebook get Androids. Who the heck knows? All right, rundown. Wyndham High boys played St. Bernard last night, and they lost 72-53. Paul Martineau's Whips are now 4-9. They visit Killingly at 6 this evening. Wyndham High girls got their second win of the season last night. We talked to Coach Manguel last week. They whipped up on Wyndham Tech 72-27. Rivalry game tonight at Callahan Gym. Whips take on Stonington at 7. Wyndham Tech boys 10-5. They beat University. Do you know where University is, by the way?
Which one?
I don't know. Wyndham Tech played University.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I tried to. If anybody knows, please call in. Are they playing college teams now? Wyndham Tech boys are 10-5. And they rather handily beat University 82-44 on Wednesday. They don't play again till February 3rd, which is Tuesday at Prince Tech. Wyndham Tech girls host Grasso Tech tonight. E.O. Smith boys, Belanger's Panthers lost Wednesday night to the number 2 team in the state, Windsor, 100-70. Panthers are at Enfield this evening. E.O. Smith girls host Enfield tonight. Coventry boys have now dropped 3 straight. After a 10-0 start, I feel kind of guilty. We had Coach Hasty on. She hasn't won since. We had her on right before they lost to Ellington. The Keith C. Rice Jenks. Lost at Stafford on Wednesday, 54-50. Hopefully she'll want to come on again. I think she probably won't ever come on again because they've lost 3 straight. Anyway, they next play a non-league game Monday at Summers. Good luck to the Coventry boys. They'll get back on the winning track. Coventry girls made it 9 in a row, blowing out Stafford at home. On Wednesday, 68-21. They play next on Tuesday, February 3rd when they welcome in Windsor Locks. Lyman boys, tough year. They're 0-12. They play at Turtelot at 6 tonight. Lyman girls have 1 win on the year. They host Turtelot this evening. Parish Hill boys home for Westbrook next Wednesday night. Parish Hill girls are 11-2. They lost at home to Weaver, 68-44. Tonight they play at SMSA. ECSU men and women are both on 3-game skids, both losing to Western Connecticut at home on Wednesday. Men lost 83-77. Women went down 57-54. Warrior men and women are both back at it, playing at UMass Boston tomorrow. Women play at 1, men at 3. Wayno's on his way to Omaha, Nebraska right now. Omaha! Remember Peyton Manning?
Yep.
Second-ranked UConn men are at Creighton tomorrow night. 7:30 pregame, I believe. 8 p.m. tap right here on WILI. Top-ranked UConn women host Tennessee and Hartford on Sunday. 11:30 a.m. pregame, 12 noon tap. Huskies and the Vols from People's Bank Arena. NFL Super Bowl 60. Pats fly out to Santa Clara, California on Sunday. Big send-off pep rally at Gillette. You'll be up there, right, Nick?
Front row.
Seahawks still a 4.5-point favorite over the Pats on Sunday's big game a week from Sunday. Over-under for that is 45.5. We'll try and squeeze a little more Super Bowl talk in between the local stuff. Maybe tie a quick bow on the conference championship games from last weekend. ECSU women's hoops. Coach Mandy King will join us at 3:15. Looking forward to talking to Coach King and our very own JT. No, not Justin Timberlake. John Tuite. We'll talk to him at 3:35. Talk a little UConn men's and women's hoops as they get ready for their games this weekend. Big thanks to our local Dunkin' stores, Route 32 South Wyndham. Hello to Caitlin J. Drizzy and Jerry Jose and the crew. Willimantic Stores, 1015 Main Street, 407 Jackson Street, 1575 West Main Street. Nick came in with the what refresher are you drinking this?
It's like a chocolate strawberry one.
He's got the put it up to the camera there. Chocolate strawberry refresher. I'll be trying that tomorrow. I've yet to try. I drink so much coffee. I got to try a refresher. So, Matt, have you ever tried the refresher?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my God! Intern RJ is here.
I just had one.
You just had one. Yeah. Which one did you have?
Strawberry dragon fruit.
You had the strawberry dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. Which ones have you tried as well? Which other ones have you tried?
I've tried most of them. I've tried I forgot what they're.
Can I ask you why you're wearing an Arizona Wildcats?
I just thought it was cool.
Oh, okay. I just wondered if there's any connection there. Number 1 team in the country, by the way. UConn's number 2, the men. Okay, so I want to try the refresher. They got Berry Moonlight Daydream Refresher, the Coca Cloud Latte. That looks good. Lately, I've been drinking the Caramel Craze Signature Latte. That's what I had right before the show today. By the way, I say camera because you can go back to WILI on YouTube and watch the show once it's uploaded. If you're on YouTube, just search WILI Radio, see all the great shows. Most of the shows here on WILI.
It's my favorite channel.
Is it? Yes?
Yeah.
You're on the WILI Radio YouTube channel nonstop? Yep. Send it off to your friends, too. There you go. So, and real quick, I know we got a lot to get to. We got Coach King, and I got to check in with Matt to see what's coming up on Homegrown. But we are in the works of possibly, not only, of course, the show is live on WILI every Friday from 3 to 4, 3:05 to 4 technically, but maybe next week, and from weeks to come, we'll be live on the WILI Facebook channel as well. So we'll keep you posted on that so you can watch the show in real time and listen to it, or pick one over the other. So that's coming up as well. So don't forget, check out your local Dunkin' stores. They got so much. Don't forget about the $5 meal deal. The Friday sports scene runs on Dunkin'. Matt Rupar has that big show Homegrown, which follows the Dunkin' Friday sports scene every week at 4:05. What's coming up today?
Let's see here. I got this band called Chip Tooth. I don't know if you're familiar with them. I think they're from Willimantic. They're like a country-esque band. I like them. They're pretty good. Royal Oaks. The guy does tattoos over at Eminence Inc. Logan.
Okay.
Shout out to Logan over there.
Really? Wow, That's very local. Good for you.
Kasha Dent. I'm playing some Kasha.
You got to get some Kasha?
Another one of hers. She just did a show with Chris Beaudry.
Yes, KD.
A couple days ago.
KD and CB.
I wish I saw that, but I missed that. And then Patty Tuite as well.
All right.
There you go.
Wow, look at that. All right, J-Matt Rupar with a stacked Homegrown show following the Dunkin' Friday sports scene here on WILI. In just a few, we'll hook up with ECSU women's basketball coach Mandy King. I think she's in her. I think this is her first year, and we'll talk a little about the Warriors, and of course we'll sign some more Super Bowl talk. But you're thinking Seahawks, huh?
Yeah, I think they're a very complete team. They've been consistent all year, and
it's like a revenge game, sort of. I mean, 11 Super Bowls ago.
Yeah, they're going to sign Marshawn Lynch to a 1-yard contract.
A 1-yard contract. Hey, Gronk signed a 1-day contract.
Yeah, why not?
Gronk's been joking around like, do I get a ring? If
he
he's
should.
saying if the Pats win, do I get a ring? So he was saying that on Jimmy Fallon the other night. But we shall see. Gronk's not going to get a ring. All right, all right, we're about to connect here with the coach. Good afternoon, Coach Mandy King of the ECSU women's basketball team. Keith C. Rice, Nick Erlinson here, and welcome to the Dunkin' Friday sports scene, Coach.
Hello.
Hi, Keith. Thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate the chance to talk about this great group of young women.
Yeah, how's your now? This is your first year, correct?
Yes, it is.
How has your first year been with the with Eastern Connecticut State University? Actually, before we get into that, give us a little background where you came from and how you connected and took over as head coach at ECSU.
Sure. Well, this is my 23rd year as a head coach, and I think this may be one of, if not my favorite years of being a head coach. This team is really something special, and we're just getting started. And my background, I grew up in Maine. I am all things New England and 3-sport athlete. Before my ACL, my senior year in high school, I had Division I aspirations, and when I tore it, I ended up at the University of Southern Maine, and
an Eastern rival.
Exactly. So this has become a pretty full circle moment. That's been an unbelievable journey. And Eastern really feels like home. But had a great playing career at USM. Went to the Sweet 16 3 times and lost the national championship my senior year. And everything I do, I try to create an opportunity for my players and assistant coaches to have the same experience that I had there. From there, I was really lucky enough to get a graduate assistant coaching position at the College of New Jersey. Won the first NJAC championship there and went to the Elite Eight. Spent a couple years in Division II, and then I had 2 other head coaching spots. Somebody gave me my first head coaching job at 26 years old. Wow. I think I thought I knew more then than I do now. But I spent 9 years at Washington and Lee University in Virginia. We won the first ODAC championship there, and then got the job at Kane University, spent 13 years there, and then Eastern Connecticut came open, and this has been a dream come true. It feels like home. It's so amazing to be back in the Little East and to reconnect with, my teammates, and to be back with, a sisterhood, and to be able to show that example to such a great and storied program like Eastern, and it's just been an incredible journey, and I'm so blessed to be here.
Well, we're so happy to have you. And we got to give Coach, your assistant coach there, Ken Valier, a shout out for kind of connecting us here. When you got the job, and I'm sure Ken reminded you of the big USM Eastern rivalry, because I think he was part of the baseball end of it, right? Did you guys talk a little about that?
Yes, absolutely. It was one. I have the best assistant coaching staff, and Ken Valier and Beth Regan. They are family to me, and they create such a great environment for our young women. They work extremely hard. They're high character people, and we have just a lot of fun doing this. And so I'm really lucky to have them. And then as far as Coach V and the Eastern USM rivalry, I saw that on that side too, because the great Ed Flaherty was at Southern Maine, and they won the national championship in 1997. So I got to see it from that perspective, and now get to hear the stories from Coach V.
What's it like to be? What's it like to be on the other side?
It's interesting because when I played, Western was really our rival. That's how old I am.
All right.
So that was the big rival during that stretch. But now to be here, even on my interview, I asked them who their rival was, and it was pretty unanimous. Southern Maine.
Well, being from Maine. Go ahead.
It's for me, it actually, I don't feel that, but I want to help my girls, and rivalry games are the best. I mean, there's so much on the line whenever you play anybody in the Little East, but it's always that much sweeter with a team that, you hate the most. So, but I think it brings out the best in all of us. And for me, I don't feel that part of it. For me, it was going home. Mm-hmm. And so I was really just flooded with emotions from, teammates, family, my coaches, administrators that were there. And, I was just really proud to bring my Eastern team to USM to show what high character people we are, show them how much fight we have, and to show them, it's almost like they have two alumni bases, because my teammates and friends and family were all cheering for them when we went to Southern Maine. So,
being from Maine, you're probably used to this cold weather. I mean, is it ever we get to see the 20 degree? We ever get to the 20s? I mean, you're used to this, right?
I've been gone from Maine for a long time. I'm a pretty big baby in the cold. I gotta tell you, I'm trying to get used to it again. But
Connecticut's kind of like Florida compared to Maine. Usually, I mean, this is the worst winter we've had in quite at least 5-10 years. But anyway, let's get on to basketball. Coach Mandy King joining us in her first year at ECSU. She mentioned she spent a lot of years at Southern Maine. She's a Maine native. Let's talk a little ECSU women. Let's see, you got UMass Boston coming up tomorrow. You guys you have a very young roster, but you've showed some progress throughout this year, huh?
Oh, this group has been incredible. Their buy-in to the system and the culture and the environment we want to create, and the impact we want to have on the people around us has been pretty unmatched to what I've seen. And I think what makes this group so special is they're not only hardworking on the court. They truly put their bodies on the line for one another. They truly have each other's backs. And I know lots of teams will say that, coaches will say that, but you can see it in the way that they fight for each other. And they genuinely care about one another. I mean, you can see in the box scores and the productivity, but I think what makes it so special is the guys that don't, they don't have the statistics because they come in every day, they work extremely hard for one another, and there's just they just love being around each other. For example, yesterday, we lost a tough game on Wednesday, and it would have been really easy to, feel sorry for ourselves. And we had the event on campus where they revealed the new the new logo.
Nice.
And all 15 of my guys showed up.
They
genuinely like being around each other. They love each other. They want to work for each other. And because of that, we've made incredible strides for the season. And we're right on the point of breaking through. There isn't a team in the league that we can't beat. And now it's just a matter of putting it all together consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, we've got a ton of youth, and that makes it really fun as well.
Yeah, you got to be quite excited. I mean, it's your first year. I mean, young roster. The girls are buying in. Now, Marissa Nudd seems to be the girl's really taken off here, the 5'11" junior out of Colchester. Talk a little about Marissa. I know you got a lot of other talented players on this roster, including Wyndham girl and a Wyndham Tech girl. We'll get to them in a second, but talk a little about Marissa.
Yeah, Marissa is one of the hardest working players I've ever met in my life. She is in the gym constantly. She never takes a rep off in practice. She meets the standard and elevates it each and every week. Just when I think she can't possibly work any harder or dedicate herself anymore, she shows up even better under any circumstances. She just really chases improvement, and I think it's very inspiring, to the people around her. The statistics are there, but it's the work ethic and the person, the young woman that's behind it, and all of that character and work ethic that's driving, the productivity. She's done a great job improving her versatility. She's such a threat inside and out, and really a three-level scorer. And her decision-making, because, she's drawing double teams. Her decision-making in the double teams is increasing the level of confidence in the players around her. And, she's just a very special player, but an even better young woman.
Hey, Coach, this is Nick.
Hi, Nick.
How's it going? After losing to UMass Boston earlier in the year, what adjustments do you think you had to make in order to beat them in your next game?
Yeah, coming up tomorrow.
Yeah. I think in Boston is a tough matchup for us. With just two very different cultures. And two very different styles of play. And I think that you can watch it on film, but when you're experiencing it, it's something totally different. So I think that experience that first time is, they really, and I mean by culture, they really thrive on chaos. And we are very tough and disciplined and together. And so, they really force you, they speed you up, they try to turn you over, and and that caught us off guard. I think that, and also we had been off for, I think, probably 3 weeks between games. So, that certainly wasn't in our favor as well. And then always losing, I think there's just a little bit extra, that second time around that fuels you a little bit more. Now, this is a team that's always hungry, but they remember that loss pretty well. And but I think for us, it's just, again, we've got to make sure that we stay calm against their defensive pressure. They're a zone team, but it's very much it's a matchup zone where they scramble and trap out of it. So we've got to keep our composure. We've got to be ball strong. We've got to be able to finish through contact. And then that's what we have to do on the offensive side of the ball. Then if we can do that, we really win the cycle of the game. Because if we can make our possessions count, get good shots where we got where we can make them, not only shots that we can make, but shots that we can't miss. Mm-hmm. Plus get on the offensive glass now we can stop them in transition, and now we can really set our defense. We're pressing more, so we feel like we can, that's that old adage that teams that like to press don't like to be pressed. So we're doing more of that. And then we've really tried to build our rebounding identity. And that's something, if we can control the glass, we don't think anybody can outrun us. So if they can't set their defense, it's going to be very difficult for them. It'll be a tough fight. Every fight is in this league, but I think we'll be able to play to our strengths.
Yeah, no matter what conference games, if you're talking LEC, Big East, they're always tough, home or away. Coach,
that's right.
We'll keep an eye on your game up in Boston tomorrow against UMass Boston, 1:00 start, and then you're in Massachusetts again Wednesday, take on UMass Dartmouth, and then back home for a team you know quite well, USM. But we thank you for a few minutes. We will definitely do this again soon. Coach Mandy King with us. And Coach, what I tell all my guests, this show will be uploaded to the WILI YouTube channel. Once it's uploaded, I will send it over to you. How's that?
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the opportunity. If you all get a chance to come out and watch us play, I think you'll love being part of something so special with the way that these guys fight and how they care about one another. So come on out and see us play, and I just really appreciate you, giving me this time today for such a great group.
And we'll definitely do it again soon. Next home game, as I just said, is a week from Saturday, correct? February 7th against USM.
That's correct. All right, let's go.
All right, go Warriors. Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, go East. Let's go.
All right, take it easy. All right, Coach Mandy King, in her first year at ECSU, doing a great job. And, again, if you want to check them out, they're she's got them playing real well. They'll be at home a week from tomorrow, 3 p.m., as they'll be back home for USM, University of Southern Maine. We're going to take a quick break on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene here on WILI. Keith C. Royce with Nick Erlinson, who's in for Jen Koivisto. We'll talk a little more Super Bowl. John Tuite will join us in just a few, talk a little UConn men's and women's hoops. Back on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI 95.3 FM, and soon, possibly, be live on the WILI Facebook page. And also, you could watch the show. It'll eventually be uploaded. Sometimes it's uploaded over the weekend on YouTube. Just go to WILI Radio. That's how you search for it on YouTube. And not only can you watch Duncan Friday Sports Scene or Hometown Threads, but there's a lot of our, several of our good talk shows here on WILI on the WILI YouTube channel. Again, search WILI Radio. So we'll get our own John Tuite on just a sec, talk a little UConn men's and women's hoops. What'd you think of some of the conference championship games? And I know you didn't really watch New England, Denver. I don't know how you missed that one. The snow, the blizzard in the second half. Sean Payton he's a great coach, Hall of Fame coach, but how do you not kick the field goal when you're to go up 10-0? When somebody should have pulled Payton aside and said, hey, there's going to be a blizzard in the second half. Patriots have you got to kick the field goal to go up 10-0. He decides to go for it. It backfires.
Yeah, that definitely was a blunder on his part. I thought the second game was a lot more exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was from a fan standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it was back, and it looked like the Rams were going to pull it off towards the end there.
Boy, those two teams had played 3 beautiful games, counting that third one, all season long. Yeah. Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah, that's some good football. Like, I didn't want to miss that one. And I actually figured the Patriots were going to blow out Denver. That's why I didn't even watch it.
You really thought that?
With the backup in there, I thought maybe it would be an easier ride.
Well, true, but Drake May didn't look like Drake May.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to Denver's defense. And there's a rumor something's going on with his shoulder, so that didn't happen in the Denver game, but maybe before that in the Houston game. We'll see. But also, I hear Darnold's banged up. But after the Patriots beat Denver, I'm sitting there going, Seattle Rams, as a Patriots fan, I don't know who I wanted to play. I don't know if I wanted to play Stafford in that high-powered offense. No disrespect to the Seattle offense. They got, Darnold, JSN, Kenneth Walker. They got just as good as offenses. I really didn't know. It was like a toss-up. So now, Pats are playing Seattle. Seahawks are 4.5-point favorite, which I think the Rams probably would have been about a 4.5-point favorite, right?
Probably. The Rams and Broncos were my original 2 picks earlier in the season to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh, and they're early in the season? You had Broncos-Rams?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, not bad.
Yeah, but because Puka Nacua looked great early.
Boy, yeah.
And he played great all season, so.
Yeah.
But it looked like that offense was really clicking early in the season.
Devontae Adams?
Yep.
I mean, the Rams are loaded, as the Seahawks are. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on both defenses, Seattle and New England. They both got great defenses.
That's going to be the key to the Patriots, I think, winning or losing, is how well their defense can handle Seattle's offense.
And we talked about this earlier. Sam Darnold, back when he was with the Jets, I know he's a different quarterback now, and he's proved it. But let's face it, we go back to that Monday night game when he was with the Jets, and he thought he was seeing ghosts. He's got to get over the Patriots. The Patriots are still in his head. So there's a lot of different storylines, here we go. Pat Seahawks started the second dynasty back when the Malcolm Butler interception. Could another dynasty be starting in New England with Pat Seahawks? So that's just one of the storylines.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. And with that being said, we go from football to basketball. Thank you, Matt. We're going to bring in our very own John Tuite. Hey, John, how are you?
Good. How are you guys today?
Good. Thanks for a few minutes. How's the mouth feeling? I know a little background. JT had a little operation on your teeth, right?
Yeah, I had a little issue, and a little antibiotics is doing the trick. So, yeah, I'm ready to roll, Thanks for having me on.
Well, we won't keep you too long. We appreciate a few minutes. I got Nick Erlinson here in for the Chronicles, Jan Koivisto. We're bouncing around. We just talked to ECSU's Mandy King and did a little, trying to squeeze in a little football. Now it's time to talk UConn men's and women's hoops. And before we go, we'll have to get a Super Bowl pick from JT as well. But let's start with the UConn men. And both the men and the women with some key games this weekend. Men on their way to Omaha to take on Creighton. And I heard you and Wayno talking about that. Any game in the Big East. Creighton just got waxed by Marquette, but you never know what to expect. And as well as UConn's been playing, I shouldn't say, really that well, because you guys made a good point. They really, they're letting teams back into the game. Does that make you a little nervous, John, going into this Creighton game tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a hostile environment against a hungry team. People forget that Creighton, they lead the all-time series against UConn 9-3. And it was a big deal last year when they won in Creighton for the first time. And it was only because Liam McNeely went wild with 38 points and 10 rebounds. But, yeah, as far as playing down the level of their teams, it's got to bite you at some time. It's hard to nitpick a 20-1 team. But, yeah, the foul shooting's been spotty. They go up by 8 or 10, and then they let the other team into the game. They definitely could have lost the game at Providence and the overtime game against Villanova. So, yeah, they're I wouldn't call them dark clouds on the horizon, but I say it's just everybody has, normal teams have those what-the-heck losses. UConn haven't had one yet.
Yeah, good point. And do you think it's mainly, as you were mentioning, some of those games, Villanova, Providence, even the road game at Seton Hall, they let the Pirates back in there. Do you think it's mainly the free throw shooting, or what do you see? How are they letting these teams back in there? Turnovers?
Well, yeah, turnovers. They seem a little bit panicky when it comes to a full court press in a closing of the game moment. They got to get the ball to the right people for the foul shots. I was talking to a friend during the end of that Providence game, and I said I would have started hacking Reed. Because Reed has a definite problem between the years in terms of the foul shots.
Hacker Reed?
And Malachi Smith, too, also brought up a foul shot on the front end of a 1-on-1 short. So, yeah, these are issues, but, pretty much 99% of the coaches in America would like to have UConn's issues. Solo ball with his wrist, wasn't shooting very well. He still gutted it out and had 19 against Providence and Ryba. I like the way that Dan Hurley went with Ryba when Reed missed a few foul shots, kind of sent a message out there, and came up with 14 points and 8 rebounds against the Friars. So, UConn, they also want to get Stewart and Ross more into the action, too, because they're going to be counted on at some point in some game, but they kind of disappeared against Providence. So, I think with this UConn team, in terms of, can they go all the way, the key is going to be Silas Demery. He's got to be a scorer and a facilitator, and to be the safeguard against full court presses. So a lot's on him. And then the other thing too is Captain America, Caravan. He's been spotty at times, but he has a history of being clutch, and that has to be a factor for UConn too.
Have you heard any update on the status of Braylon Mullins by any chance?
No, I have not heard one way or another. I'm sure Vegas is going. Is Mullins going to play?
You got that right. Now is it 8 o'clock game? Go ahead. What?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You do need a 3-point shooter because historically, Creighton shoots lights out from the 3-point line against UConn. Now that's, different players, different eras, a whole new year, but it just seems like, if Creighton can avoid the falling behind quickly, like they did in Marquette, they fell behind and fell apart. UConn can it lets them just stick around, and they get going on the outside shots. UConn's going to need some outside shots of their own, and that's where missing Mullins could be a big deal.
Yeah, you got a road game at Creighton tomorrow night on. I believe that's got to be it's going to be a national game on Fox.
Fox national game.
8 o'clock tomorrow night. Huh?
Is that 8 o'clock or 8:30?
8 o'clock, so 7:30 on WILI, but it is a Fox game, so it's national. You close out January at Creighton, then you open up February back in Hartford against Xavier. Hurley's going to have them not looking ahead to St. John's, because they're St. John's at MSG looming on the horizon a week from tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a biggie. St. John's, they can be hot and they can run cold, but when you scan down the schedule, the St. John's matchups, no question, are among the biggest around, and it's always a big deal when Hurley and Patino match up.
Yeah, we don't want to look ahead to that either, but UConn's got two games to kind of get it right here, and it'd be, as we've been talking, it'd be great to see a blowout in one of these Big East teams, because they've had plenty of chances to have a blowout here, and they just, as we've been talking about, letting these teams back in the game. But you got at Creighton, home for Xavier. Hopefully you can put it together to get ready for St. John's. Nick, did you have something?
On paper, UConn and Creighton are pretty equal. As far as points per game, they both average about 78 points a game. They both shoot about between 46 and 48% from the field. And then as far as rebounding, which is something I know UConn struggles with sometimes, they're pretty much deadlocked there as well. Do you think those where they're equal is going to be a problem for them, or do you think their blocks and their steals and defense is going to be the difference?
Well, you're right. The defense by UConn, I think, is the defining thing of what's going to determine the win or loss in this game. Blue Jays are led in scoring by Josh Dix with 12. And they also got a three-point shooter who shoots 39% off the choice. But overall, this is not a vintage Blue Jays team that has given fits in the past. So, the numbers may seem similar, but I think that, if UConn played Creighton 10 times, UConn's winning 8 to 9 times.
Yeah, nobody storms the court better than Creighton. Just ask Wayno, right?
That's a tough place to play, and they are 9-2 at home this year, even though they're not having a great year.
That's right. Good point. John Tuite from WILI, our own John Tuite, with us here on the Duncan Friday Sports Team. We'll keep him for just a few more minutes. Let him rest them out there. We want to talk a little UConn women now before we wrap things up. UConn women, number one in the country, of course, unbeaten. I believe it's 36 in a row now, dating back to last year. They welcome in Tennessee to People's Bank Arena this week. Are you going to that game, by the way?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so, let's face it, it's still going to be a great game, and I don't want to downplay it, because whenever UConn and Tennessee get together, it's always a lot of fun. Now, Tennessee, let's face it, it's not like the Tennessee-UConn matchups from the past, but can you see Tennessee putting up any kind of fight in Hartford on Sunday, John? Not
if UConn comes out of the starting gate fast. I think UConn will blow them out if they start fast. Tennessee is 14-4. They're 6-1 in the league, but they lost at home badly in their most recent game. They laid an egg just like Creighton did in their last game. Mississippi State beat them Tennessee scored 77-62. As much as things change, they've got that new coach Kim Caldwell, and she's not doing that hockey line substitutions like she was earlier in her career. But they go deep. But it's still SEC basketball, which their style is going to be, half the plays. The play starts when you make the miss and go for the offensive rebound. They play a lot of bully ball. They play a lot of isolation. And I don't think there's any kind of way of dealing with UConn's team defense.
I was going to say, this has got to be, I think you and I may have discussed this around the station recently. You've seen a lot of UConn women's teams over the years. Would you say, actually, where does this rank as far as the best team, defensive team that Geno's had? Where would this rank in your mind?
Well, it's tough to evaluate when you have 6 previous undefeated national champions.
True.
But presuming they run the table, which is a heck of a presumption, this could very well be the best defensive team UConn's ever had, especially when Blanca Quinones is in there wreaking havoc. Now she's questionable to play in the game, and we'll see how she is. But Tennessee is not a disciplined team, and when they've fallen behind in their games, they've hung their heads, and their body language has not been good. And so, they're on national TV tomorrow, or Sunday rather, at noon, and it's a big high-profile game, probably the most high-profile game of the year for them compared to UConn. They have maybe a dozen high-profile national games, but they're ranked number 15. They could do some damage. Kalesia Cooper, almost 15 a game. The matchup to watch is the point guard, Mia Paldo, 12 points a game. And, KK Arnold's getting that assignment first. But they only shoot 30% from three-point territory as a team. So that's another reason why if UConn jumps out to a quick double-digit lead, they're going to have a hard time coming back. And I'd say there would be a chance for a Tennessee upset if the game was in Knoxville, just like last year. By the way, that's the last time UConn lost, was last year in Knoxville.
Wow, good call on that. That was their last loss, huh?
Yeah, 80-76. And so, UConn's remember that game. They're going to have the home court advantage. The crowd's going to be rabid because it's Tennessee. You're going to see that orange and be like Diana Taurasi want to punch the basket support.
So here's the thing. And the men and the women are both on Fox this weekend. Of course, UConn men tomorrow night at Creighton. And it just, as John just mentioned, national TV for the women, noon on Sunday on Fox at People's Bank Arena. And you just, we've had you on before talking UConn men and women. And same thing that we said last time. And other people we've had on talking about the Huskies. Just like, it's almost like, let's just get to March. I don't want to sound like a cocky UConn fan, but come on, let's face it. Every game's been like 85-37. Right?
Yeah, they are blowing everybody out. There are some other legitimate contenders for the Final Four and for potentially upsetting UConn. Just to list a few: South Carolina, of course. UCLA is a solid number 2, and they're playing well. They're blowing everybody out. Texas, LSU, you never rule out with Mulkey. Michigan gave him a game at Mohegan. J. Ralph's Vanderbilt team. Maybe TCU. They have Miles, the Notre Dame transfer. I wouldn't list very many other teams that have a chance of knocking off UConn besides those teams. But could this team UConn be vulnerable? Say if a Sarah Strong or an AZ Flood got hurt. You remember last year going into the tournament, it's like, well, yeah, if Paige Beckers gets hurt, she gets hurt, we're toast. We have no chance. But this team has enough depth and talent that, knock on wood, if there was a major injury on the UConn team, I think they could still take it all away.
Absolutely. And speaking of last year, look, we all know AZ Fudd is a great player, but I didn't expect that last March/April. And she just went off. Wouldn't you agree? We knew she's a good player, but she went off last year in the postseason.
Yeah. Well, when she got healthy, and she was earlier in her career, they had that tournament out in Portland, and she outplayed Caitlin Clark in a win over Iowa. She's definitely capable of it, and she's I don't know if she's going to get Player of the Year because of the other girl in the locker room.
Exactly.
But they probably split votes, and probably neither of them will get it. However, we'll see. I think that UConn's got they're not a mortal lock to win, but boy, are they heavy favorites.
Unbelievable. All right, before we let you go, Super Bowl pick right here on the Duncan Friday Sports Day. I know I see you every day. I could ask you in the hallway, but we want to know Patriots or Seahawks. You're the first person we're asking, and I'm gonna make you give us a score too. So go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna pick Patriots 24-21.
Ooh, okay.
And I have a bad feeling in my stomach. It could be a blowout for Seattle at the same time.
I know. Seattle's a 4.5-point favorite. I'm trying to look at both sides too. I mean, Seattle's got a great offense. I was talking with Nick and John, when you were after the Pats beat Denver last week, I'm sitting there literally going, I don't know who I want to play. Seattle or the Rams. Both teams are equally tough. So I don't know. This year,
I think that Seattle's playing more like junkyard dogs these days, and they're going to be a tough out. If the Patriots win, it'll probably be by the skin of their teeth. And there's the possibility that Seahawks could roll.
Also, the Pats haven't been blown out all year, so I think the Pats are capable of keeping it close. I like your pick. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Pats fan, but you said junkyard dogs, and you got me thinking Kenneth Walker. God, I hope he's not the Marshawn Lynch of this year. So we'll see what happens, but I think it should be
that 49er game. Seattle really looked like the best team I've seen all year.
Yeah, but I just can't see Sam Darnold hoisting that Super Bowl trophy. I can't. Anyway,
maybe not.
He'll
be seeing ghosts.
I know. I was telling Nick he's got to get by. The Patriots are still in his head, so he's got to get over that hump. So, all right. So put JT down for 24-21 Pats. John, thank you so much for a few minutes. Enjoy your weekend and have fun at the game on Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes. Our own John Tuite, talk a little UConn men's and women's hoops, get you ready for the weekend. Both games are on Fox, but more importantly, you can listen to them here on WILI. UConn men at Creighton, 7:30 tomorrow night here on WILI, and then the UConn women against Tennessee and Hartford, 11:30 on Sunday morning at WILI. So here we are, final few minutes of the Duncan Friday sports scene. J-Matt Rootbar behind the board, and he's going to stay behind the board because he got homegrown coming up, as he does every Friday at 4:05 here on WILI. But let's spend the last couple minutes talking about football because, hey, we're going to try and do a wall-to-wall Super Bowl show for you next week. Maybe we'll try and get some beat writers on, some people to talk Pats Seahawks.
Cheerleaders?
You work on the cheerleaders. Good luck with that. Yeah, maybe Bill Belichick's girlfriend, he's a former Patriot cheerleader, can join us. Is it Jordana or Jordan, by the way, her name?
I don't know.
No, Jordan or Jordan. Who the heck cares? 73-year-old dating a 24-year-old. That's... Don't even get it. You brought up Belichick for, you brought up the cheerleaders. I'm bringing up Belichick for a second. Real quick before we get a little Super Bowl talk and the RA parlay to close it out. That was a big topic this week. Yes, Bill Belichick should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I will say this, and look, you know how big of a Patriots fan I am. I'm basically repeating what I said to you before we went on the air today. This is kind of like karma coming back to bite Bill Belichick. He spit on the NFL shield for like 20 some odd years, pushing the microphone down in his post-game press conferences, snubbing the media. Look, do I think Bill Belichick's probably one of the greatest coaches of all time? Absolutely. But this is karma. Now, Bill Polian, don't even get me going to him. He's a clown show. He has, I forgot who I voted for. It was 2 weeks ago. BS, dude. We know you didn't vote for him. But I'm telling you, Bill Belichick should be a first ballot, but I'm sorry, this is karma coming to bite him in the butt for screwing the media and saying, F off. And what do you think? It's not about the cheating. It's about being a schmuck for 20 years.
Well, he's just waiting for Brady to get him there. That's all it is. He just wants Brady to help him.
Oh, but Brady's been like the complete opposite. His analysis on Fox is you see him on every freaking commercial. He's like and Bill meanwhile is going down. His legacy is just spiraling out of control. So.
Maybe they're looking at his years with the Browns and all that stuff before the pre-Patriots days where he was not Bill Belichick
not
that we all
good,
know.
That's for sure. But anyway, so we're going to work on a Super Bowl show for you next week as we get ready for Pats Seahawks. Early prediction. Let's do an early prediction here because then we'll come back with with our final prediction. What are you looking at so far? You can always change this because we have a week to go.
Well, right now I'm thinking Seattle, as I've said. I do think it will be close, 28-24.
Okay, 28-24, which was the score in Super Bowl 49, except the Patriots won 28-24. So you're taking Seattle, 28-24?
Yep.
I agree, too. I know, and John's right in a way where he thinks, anything can happen in a Super Bowl. We saw Seattle blow out Denver in the Super Bowl before the Patriots won, when they won 40-8 against Peyton Manning. I don't think it'll be a blowout because I think the Patriots are very good at playing close games. Look at last week in Denver. You're saying 28-24 Seattle. My early prediction, I could change this. I'll go like, oh boy. I'll say something like 24-17 Pats. I think people are sleeping on that New England defense. And Seattle's got a great defense too. So, all right, what we're going to do is we'll do the RA parlay with our good friend Ronnie Adams, and we'll put a wraps on this.
Hello, everyone. TGIF. It's Ronnie Adams, a.k.a. RA Parlay. Here's my picks for today. NHL, the Blackhawks under 3.5 goals against the Columbus Blue Jackets. NBA, the Knicks, money line over Trailblazers. The Clippers, money line over the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets on a back-to-back. And a revenge game. Also have a little Australian Open women's Sabalenka, Alina Rabakina over 20.5 games. And then I'm going to end it with Michigan State over Michigan or bring the spread up to 4.5. Thanks a lot. Remember, bet responsibly. Don't chase. RA Parlay out.
Thank you, Ronnie. We're going to rotate between Ronnie and my cousin Jeff Bennett. We'll bring Bennett back for Bennett's best bet for the Super Bowl prediction next week. So, yeah, that'll about put a wraps on the January 30th edition. Next time I see you, Nick, will be in February. And thank you for checking out the Duncan Friday Sports Team. Big thanks to ECSU women's basketball coach Mandy King, our own John Tuite from WILI, intern RJ, J. Matt Rupar. Thank you, Nick. And make sure you check out WILI on YouTube. Search WILI Radio. Subscribe. The show will be uploaded. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay warm and have a great weekend.